What's up, folks? This is Matt Barlow from Ashes of ARES, and you are listening to Sonic Perspectives.
Hi everyone, Rodrigo Altaf here, bringing you another interview for Sonic Perspectives. Today we have on the phone a true legend of vocals, Mr. Matt Barlow, formerly of Iced Earth. Matt formed a band called Ashes of ARES in 2012, and they have just released their second album on November 9th, entitled Well of Souls. Matt, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so like I said just now, you have just released the second Ashes of ARES album, which has been very well received. Tell us a bit about the writing process of the album.
Well, as you can understand, it's been a long process. Now, obviously, we weren't writing it for 5 years. Some of the songs were written and composed. We did have some things that happened, internally with the band, on personal levels, that kind of hindered things as far as the band, the writing going forward. And it certainly was understandable. Van, who still performs on this record, but is now a former member of the band. His wife was diagnosed with cancer, and so that took a large chunk of Van's time, away from writing, and we, certainly wanted to give him space to do that and everything. But he also had another project with Ghost Ship Octavius going at the same time, and so his attentions were drawn in a couple different directions, and so he stepped away from the band a couple years ago, and well, not even quite a couple years ago, but anyway, he stepped away from the band. So we got back on track. Freddie and I, finished up writing the songs that we had worked with Van together on, and then also with with the other stuff that we were creating at the time. So. All the whole record wasn't done, for the whole time that we were away, but we had worked on some songs, in the beginning, and then some songs in the middle, and then finished it out, rounded it out at the end. We wanted to make sure that we tweaked this out, and we had some solid songs on this record that could really stand out, and so we hope that we've done that. We think that we have. We'd hope that folks would receive it well. It's kind of hard, man. 5 years in between records, you don't really know where folks are going to be, what their expectations are going to be. Sometimes we know what our expectations are of ourselves, but it's kind of hard to gauge it sometimes when you've been out of the scene for 5 years is a long time in the music business, and so. Things change a little bit, but we just try to stay true to what our vision is for the band, and what our own expectations are of ourselves as musicians.
Yeah, well, 5 years definitely seems like a long time between albums, but to me it feels very much like a natural sequence of the self-titled album, even though they're 5 years apart, like I said. Do you feel the same way about the material?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it. We're not changing who we are. With this, we're not going from one record to another. Going, okay, well, we're going to sound like this on this record, and we're going to sound like this on that. There are going to be differences. I mean, as time goes on, I'm sure that each record is going to have its own flavor and things of that nature. People are going to, sense, where we're going with things. We want to do that. We don't want to be the same. We don't want to be carbon copy, cookie cutter, music. That's not what we're about. We don't have to be. And that's the other beautiful part about it. It's like Freddie and I are comfortable enough with who we are as musicians and what we write that we can go, well, we don't have to do this. We can do this. I mean, we understand that certain people are going to expect a metal record out of Ashes of ARES. We totally get that. So that is our framework. Okay. It's got to be a metal record. Outside of that, let's go nuts. And so that's we want to be creative, man. There's no reason to not be. I don't want to say we don't have anything to prove to anybody, we have everything to prove to ourselves, and that's the most important thing. So if we can make a solid creative metal record, then we're going to be happy.
Yeah. Well, you just mentioned a lot of stops and starts in the writing process, but all things considered and all things falling into place, what comes first when you're writing for the album? Is it the lyrics, the riffs, the melodies, or?
It's all over the place, man. It's just really whatever feels right to create the song, and that's the thing. The song is the most important thing out of everything. The song is the most important thing, and so you have to get the song right, and you have to do it one song at a time. I mean, and it's not to say that we don't work on several songs at a time. If Freddie has 3 song ideas and he gives them to me and he goes, "Hey, this is where we're going," and I'll start I'll start building them. We don't just go, okay, first song's done, set that aside. Second song, we don't do that. But each song deserves our time and our passion. So we want to put the best of what we can in that song. And if it means sometimes scrapping a song and starting from the beginning, we'll do that. And we've done that with some, basically kind of ripping it all. We've gone, we don't necessarily like where this is going, so we're going to rip it all down and try to start again. If I could start, and I've done, I'm like, man, that chorus, it's cool. What you guys are doing is cool, but I feel like I can do more. I feel like I need to get more melody, more harmony in there, and really make it sing. And so we do that. But yeah, so it really depends, man, where it starts. Some songs start out with just a melody in my head of a chorus, and I'll start writing the chorus and start playing the guitar bit as best I can because I suck. But I'll start, I'll record it, on my rig and start, just copying measures over and over again, just so I get a baseline of where the melody should be. And I'll sing, and I'll usually, sing and compose the stuff because it's easier for me to do that. And then I'll hand it off to Freddie and go, "Hey man, this is what I'm thinking. Now please write the song and make it sound good." And we'll go from there. And then sometimes Freddie has a fully composed song, and he goes, "Hey man, this is what I got," and I'll say, "Okay, cool," and I'll start working on, I'll figure out what, and typically it's fairly easy sometimes to find what the chorus is going to be or what he perceives the chorus to be, and then sometimes it is actually the exact opposite. And I've actually found that before. He goes, "Well, I was thinking this was more of the verse part," and I'm like, "Well, the thing is with that, I'm trying to do this with this," and so then we've compromised and turned things around, and I've utilized what he perceived as a verse part as a chorus part, or vice versa. So, the cool thing about me and Freddie, we work really well together, man, and we don't, if something sounds like crap, we'll say it, and no hard feelings, and we'll go on from there. But we're really trying to create good songs, man, and that's just the bottom line.
Well, intentionally or not, I think you like to keep things in the family because, like you said, Freddie's your longtime friend. Van left the band, but he still collaborated on the album, played in the album, and also Jonah Weingarten on keyboards. He's with you on We Are Sentinels, and he was with you on Pyramaze as well, right?
Yeah, man. It's always nice to work with people that you know and love, man. And that's the thing with getting Van to do the drums, man. It was just the stars aligned, and it was just so happened that he was available to do it, and we asked him, because we had the record. We had the record completely done, demoed up. Freddie had gone back and done drum programming for some of the songs that the Van hadn't already worked on and had done. But we had it pretty much all done, and Van knew a lot of the songs. I mean, he had a lot of the songs kind of already in his mind. So it was just a no-brainer for us because, when we got offered the deal with Rock of Angels Records, we were looking to get a drummer. I mean, obviously we wanted a real drummer to do the tracks, and we were like, well, hey, Van, here's some money, man. You want to do the drums? We can pay you just like a regular gig, and you can do the drums, and everybody will be happy. And he did, man. He was gracious about it. Did a great job on tracking the stuff. He tracked it at his studio, which was great, for us as well. Because everything in the cool part about this record, another kind of cool part is that we tracked all the stuff in our perspective studios. So our own studios, we did all the tracking. I did all the vocal tracking and all that stuff in my studio. Freddie did all the bass and guitars in his studio. Van did all the drums in his studio. So then we all, put it together. We sent it to Rob at Terrarium. He did some basic mixes for us before we got there to do the final mix, and we were off to the races, man. So that was very cool.
Yeah. Well, I saw Van not too long ago with Goat Ship Octavius here in Toronto. He opened for Orphan Land and Tear. But how are you going to solve that piece of the puzzle when you guys go on tour? Are you going to get another drummer? Do you have auditions already set up, or?
Yeah. So our, the way it looks, at the moment, the drummer that was in Kyle, who was in the videos that we have, it looks like he's gonna work for us on the road. So that'll be very cool. He's a longtime friend of Freddie's. And also, so we got Kelly on bass as well, and then Charlie's back with us. Charlie was with us on the road back when we were touring a couple years ago, and phenomenal guitar player. So yeah, man. So I think we got a full live band already lined up. So we're good to go.
Cool. Well, before we go into the details of certain songs on this release, I also love the fact that the visual aspect of the band seems well taken care of. Like there's the cool logo on the first album with the symmetry there and the mirrored image. And the cover on the second album is simply beautiful. I love that cover. So who takes care of the graphics for the band, and how much of a say do you have in it?
So for the artwork, that now the graphics for the logo and all that, that's Van had created all that. So that's cool. But he's that stayed with the band, and will continue to be our logo, as long as we're given the blessing and all that good stuff. So that's cool. As far as the artwork on the record and in the record, and like we have artwork for every song. That's why I will urge all your listeners to go buy a physical copy, because the artwork attached to this record is absolutely beautiful. So whether it's the CD, which is going to have a full booklet with all the art to correspond with all the songs, or the LP, which is going to be gatefold, vinyl, and all that good stuff. So double vinyl, gatefold, beautiful artwork all over the place. So it's very, very cool. We totally respect our fans that that want the physical copy. We want them to buy that and to have that and to cherish it, hopefully. But Camille is a long time friend of ours from Poland. He's a phenomenal artist. He has just a wonderful sense of what I love in art, and it's just kind of very dark shading, kind of just it makes you want to look deeper into the artwork, and that's what I love about it. It just looks so beautiful, and I think he's done a phenomenal job, and I think people are just going to really get a kick out of the artwork that goes along with these songs.
Well, now that you said the thing about the booklet and every song getting a graphic art, I want to get it, man, because I got the MP3 to prepare for the interview, but I want to get it now.
yeah, man, you got to, man, and that's why and that's why I say it, because if you don't know, if we're not telling folks, they're not going to know, and we really tried to explain it, and maybe this gives me inspiration, man. I'm gonna get on my social media and make sure people understand and explain that, because it is important, man, and we really wanted to do something special, not only musically but also visually with this. We were afforded the opportunity to do two performance videos for the record, and some of the artwork. Actually, that's the other thing. So in Soul Searcher, a lot of the artwork for that is represented in that video. So a lot of that art is not necessarily art for Soul Searcher. Some of it is, but then there's other art that they worked in from the record into that. So you can sort of see all that was created by Camille, and so there's different aspects in there. And you'll probably, if you watch that lyric video again, I'm sure you're going to pick out art for each song as it's going through. You'll go, oh, Okay, I got it. That's the alien. Okay, I got it. So
Yeah, very, very cool. Okay, so the album kicks off with Consuming the Mana, which tells the tale of ancient Hawaiian warrior culture. Where did you get the inspiration for that song?
that's all Freddie, man. I mean, Freddie's that's part of his heritage. He's Polynesian, and he's got he's just loves that idea. He actually had the concept for the song was one that he had worked on in a death metal band that he was in, and some of the even some of the cadence on the chorus, though I added some more melody to it. A lot of the cadence that he had for that chorus is what I used for the cadence of the chorus as well. So obviously tried to add melody because that's what I do. I'm a melody guy. I was trying to add melody to it, but it is one of those just cool, rip your face off kind of choruses, and I love it. It was a great opener for the song, for the record. So, and we both realized it when we stripped it down and got it. We knew that was going to be the opener for the record.
Yeah, and a very unusual theme too, which I like as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's right. It's definitely different. So that's
yeah.
a very cool thing.
Yeah. Well, you have a trilogy there, which kind of works as a centerpiece of the album with Let All Despair, In the Darkness, and Spirit of Man. Give us the background of that story if you can, and what part of the story each one of those songs tell.
Okay, so they're basically the Let All Despair is sort of a I don't want to necessarily use the word prophecy, but it's sort of prophesizing of this this coming threat and how man has a connection with nature. At this point, man does not understand that connection. Man has not figured out that there is a connection with not only on a physical level, but also a spiritual level with Earth. Okay, with the soul of the Earth, and partly because man is not even though man can think and reason and can figure these things out as they go. Man is very young in the cycle in the life cycle of the Earth, and the Earth has had many of these cycles, and many a times when the Earth goes dormant or goes into a sleep cycle, it creates an opportunity for the darkness in the darkness to prey upon the Earth and its spirits that it protects. So that's sort of where it goes from Let All Despair into In the Darkness, and In the Darkness is really about that threat out there in the universe. And then Spirit of Man is really the mankind coming to the realization of their relationship with Mother Earth, and pleading to Mother Earth that do not let us become prey to the darkness. And so there's still even at the end of this trilogy, I left it open, and I wanted people to just listen to these concepts and to really use their imagination for themselves and kind of speculate, from not only a physical aspect but also more of a spiritual aspect of that connection, and to where we fall within the universe, and it is, yes, it's science fiction in a sort of a way, but also spiritual in another way, and it's rather open-ended. There's kind of a big question mark at the end of the trilogy, and it's certainly something that I wouldn't mind going back and filling in some blanks. However, I would also encourage people to give feedback on what they think this is all about, or where they would perceive this to go. So I'll be interested to see what people's feedback is once they start getting into it and start listening to the record, and see if their perceptions are in line with what mine are.
Well, voluntarily or not, that gives us an insight on what your thought process is because, that ties in with the name of the band as well. Ashes of Ares has that duality kind of thing. Is it the end of the world? Is it a new beginning kind of thing? Don't you
Right.
agree? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I,
Yeah.
and I love, I don't know if you know this or not, but I love dualities, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure.
if there's any chance for people to look at things through a different lens, I'm cool with it. That's very cool.
And the guy on the cover who's at the Well of Souls, is he a character in the story and does he have a name? Because he has potential there to become like your mascot kind of thing or the guy
Um,
appearing on every cover.
yeah. Well, he's the man with no name at this point. But yeah.
Uh-huh.
So um, yeah, we'll leave that one for the thought process as well.
Okay, cool. Well, I also found you use a very clever angle with the time traveler, which is not exactly about time traveling, but how your legacy lives on through your children, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's kind of the because we are bound by a timeline. We are
Hmm.
bound by time as we have not. I kind of have some theories about things, about different things, spirits and things of that nature, and I kind of sometimes I wonder if spirits aren't just just well humans that have evolved on another time and are living in another another dimension that
Hmm.
we can't perceive at this point because we are strictly tied to a timeline and the only way that we can get from point A to point B is to travel on that line.
Hmm.
And I think that I tend to believe that when we pass, we break free of that timeline, and then we can evolve if if we are so desire to, or if we are allowed to in the great universe. But but as far as our legacy, yes, that's the only way we are more mortal by design, as I
Hmm.
state in the lyrics. There's a reason for us to be mortal on this living in this plane of existence. Because if you can imagine, if we lived forever, how absolutely boorish and horrible the world would be. Because
Indeed.
there needs to be that, man. There needs to be seasons change. Seasons change for a reason. There has to be a cycle of life and of death. Death is part of life, and it really helps to, I think, restore the future as far as other mortals are concerned. We have to evolve, and I think that's the only way we evolve. Because if we just live forever, we would never evolve.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you also chose a very particular song to honor Chris Cornell, You Know My Name, which was on the soundtrack for Casino Royale. That was an amazing version, by the way. But why did you pick that particular song to honor him? And did you actually get to know him personally? Was he like an influence on your singing style, or?
No, no, I never met Chris Cornell personally, but certainly his, it was interesting because his death really kind of affected me in a really personal way, and I don't exactly know why. I was talking to my wife about it because she noticed that it kind of hit me personally.
Hmm.
And there have been a lot of great artists that have passed in the last couple of years, but for whatever reason his passing really hit me kind of hard, and I don't know why because I'm not like a huge not like a huge super fan, but I am a fan. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
But when Freddie approached me with wanting to do the song because we're also both huge James Bond fans, and I think that song is the best. And other people may argue with me about it. But I'll put that one up against Live and Let Die all day long as far as a James Bond theme song to go by because I just think it's great. It's a phenomenal, very well conceived and very well executed song for a soundtrack song.
Yeah, I
And,
agree. Yeah.
and I loved it. And I think when Freddie said, "Hey man, I really want to do this," and I was like totally on board. So and then when he showed me what he did with it with the guitars and just heavied it out, and I was like totally on board. and so we just went with it, man. It was just very, very cool, very fun. And again, it is a total tribute to Chris and to, all of our other brothers and sisters, musicians that have passed. So,
hmm No, that's a very cool homage indeed, man. And well, what would you say is the main difference between, for example, Ashes of Ares and Iced Earth from a musical standpoint, or a scheduling standpoint, or a financial standpoint that makes you pursue one and not the other at this point?
okay. So, well, and that was the thing, back, when I left the band for the second time.
Hmm
I was given the opportunity, or, John said, hey, I need to go on full time. I need you to be on full time because I need to tour and make money for the band. And I totally understood that. And at that
Yeah.
point for me, it was not an option. I didn't want to be away from my family for as much as that would require. And
hmm
it's very important for me, as a dad, to be around my family,
hmm
and as a husband to be around my family. So, with that, I just wasn't, and I knew where the music business was going, man. I mean, we saw the writing on the wall. It was very tough for a band to make money, making records, and strictly making records, and maybe doing a month tour or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I toured more with the last Iced Earth release than I did on all the other releases. So I mean, we toured a lot, man, and it was very tough with my work schedule and everything to do it. And it was tough financially for the band as well, because they had to pay me to, fly back and forth, to do all these shows. I mean,
I see.
I think the band made money, but it wasn't like, it was a financial burden, for them for sure.
Hmm
So, with that, I stepped down from Iced Earth, and I'm, very happy that they got Stu, and they're doing phenomenal with Stu, and going on, and doing great things. As far as, Ashes, this is the best thing I think for Ashes of Ares, is that, Freddie and I are independent, of music, of the music business. We can, we write music because we love it, and that's what we want to do. We want to be, we don't want to be, financially burdened by writing music, and we haven't been, thus far. We don't want that to be a burden to us, and we don't want that to, because that translates into, just not a good time, and the fans, I think, are gonna hear that in our music. So
hmm
as long as we can keep writing, music, and doing it, financially responsibly, and things like that, then we'll keep doing it, and we'll get out there and tour as much as we can, when we can. We're not going to promise. We're not going to promise, everybody the sun, the moon, and the stars, but we'll promise we'll give it our best shot to get out there and do some live shows,
hmm
and even if a tour, we toured, we did a short, stint in Europe on the last record, and we had a really good time, and it was a good turnout, and we sold a lot of shirts and did stuff. So, we'll continue to do that, man. If we can set up some shows here and there, as long as it's, financially feasible for us to do it, then we're definitely going to do it, because we love getting out, and we love playing as much as we love recording. So.
hmm hmm Well, and also you chose not to play any Iced Earth songs, and that was a very brave move on your part. But if that was a plan on the first tour you guys did, I imagine you still do the same now that you have two albums to draw from, right?
We're not going to play any Iced Earth songs, man.
hmm
It's not, I mean, to me, it's just a respect thing for both John and for Freddie. I mean,
hmm
John, they're his songs, and for Freddie, we're in this together. We're Ashes of Ares, and so, we think that our songs are strong enough to stand on their own without throwing some Iced Earth songs in there. We don't want to do Iced Earth cover
Yeah.
band. So.
No, well, they are strong for sure. But did you get any frustrated looks or complaints from the fan base because of that decision, or?
No, because I think we were upfront about it from the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Whenever we said we were going to go on tour, people would ask, and we were just upfront. We were like, we weren't sugarcoating it. We weren't, leading them along. Well, maybe, come out to a show. No, we're not going to do
Uh-huh.
that. Just like, you know, there's no reason for us to do that. And so we're just going to be upfront with people and say, no, we're not going to do that. We've got these songs. Maybe we'll do a cover song of something else, or, you know, and so that's kind of what we stuck by.
Uh-huh.
We definitely got, we got 2 records worth of material. We've got plenty to draw from, and maybe we can, do some some stuff, cover tunes of other songs or whatever, and maybe we'll do that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I also love the fact that you have two careers, one as a police officer and then a singer in your spare time. I actually do the same. I'm a music reviewer and also I work in supply chain
No, right on.
in my daytime. So it must be a battle to balance the two and also being a family man, right?
Yeah, it is, man. But thankfully, my family is very, very supportive of the music, and they actually like it sometimes. They listen
Uh-huh.
to it, you know. Um, so yeah, it's it wouldn't work if I didn't have a supportive family for
Hmm.
sure. So but it works out really, really, really well.
Uh-huh. Well, has it ever happened that one of your career paths overlapped or like cross-pollinated into each other? Like, for example, a story from your career as a police officer being made into a song, or you playing in a police event, or that kind of thing, or?
No, no. It really doesn't. I kind of keep that separate. I mean, everybody at my work is very supportive of what I do. So, as far as musically, but I really try not to bring that in. I mean, maybe I might be influenced some by what I do as a career. I think it would be hard not to on some level. Whether it be subconscious or not. But to me, music is an escape. So
Hmm.
when I'm writing, it's really more of an escape for me to go out and think of other places and other people and other things, and how things affect me, and or how things affect different people in different ways. And so I don't really concentrate so much on that.
Uh-huh.
On Warrior's Wings, that was a tribute to one of my fallen officers, and that's as close to it as I've gotten. So
Okay.
that's because that was very, very personal for me at the time,
Hmm.
when I was writing it, and that was it struck me in a way, so that was the only song that kind of did that. But nothing on this record, I don't think falls in that line.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay. Well, and what's the current plan for We Are Sentinels, and what's the mission statement of the band? It seems to me that it's more focused on orchestral music, right? And
yeah,
by the way, you did such a different cover of Holy Diver, man. I love that track.
right on, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, and that's really what we were shooting for. We're when Jonah approached me about doing a project, he kind of approached it as like maybe he wanted to do a metal project, and I kind of steered him in the other direction. I said, well, a lot of people are doing metal projects, but nobody's doing this, and I know that you do this stuff, and he does it really, really well. And I thought it would just be cool to be able to do stories over top of that, and
Hmm.
add to that kind of almost soundtrack kind of quality, orchestral music, and that's where it all got started. And so we started working on stuff, and it was very, very natural. It was great to work on it. It was fun. It was definitely different than doing metal stuff,
Hmm.
in a lot of respects, because it's not all aggressive. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you're writing aggressive music, you tend to be more aggressive as a vocalist, and this was not that. I mean, there are certainly times in there where I'm throwing some things in there to be for drama sake. Um,
Uh-huh.
so I amp it up a little bit more and do a little bit more, but it was cool. I got to kind of go down a couple different avenues than I've ever done before, and it was nice. So
Yeah. Well, one thing I noticed is how you enjoyed the use of layered vocals, usually in a very clever way. I mean, that was true in every band you played, Iced Earth, Pure Amaze, Ashes of Ares, even back to the Cauldron days, which was your first band. Would you
yeah,
say that's your trademark or the thing you go for in every release, or?
I don't know, man. I just do whatever I feel seems right for the song.
Hmm.
I don't know how it worked. I mean, I know, so in a lot of the Oyster stuff, some of the layer stuff was my idea, but some of it was John, some of it was Jim's and things like that. Whenever we started working and doing choruses, but yeah, but I've I enjoy doing it. It's really a lot of fun for me to create that kind of environment and do the layered vocals. I think it's very cool. So and I did do some different things like We Are Sentinels. I did a lot more clean falsetto bits to really do. So all the ladies that you hear singing in there are not ladies. It's me.
It's you?
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Not except in Sirens of Odysseus. That bit. That's actually Jonah. He's doing those parts. But all the other stuff that is vocals that are attached to my choruses and things like that. That's all clean. Me doing clean falsetto stuff, which was fun because it was neat because I've never really done that. Normally my falsettos are gruff and have a little bit of bite to them, and I was able to do these really pretty kind of cool falsetto voices and stuff. So it was kind of neat.
And I'm also curious to find out if you have a process to memorize lyrics. Does it come naturally to you, and how much time and effort do you usually have to spend until you're good to sing a song live?
Yeah. So I do like to listen to these songs a lot, and I think just repetition is the key for me. Is just listening to them over and over and over again. That helps, and then I try to visualize the lyrics, or at least the usually just like the first line. And then after like the first line of a verse or something, it just seems to just flow. You know what I mean? And then then you do get to a point where when I was in Iced Earth, I got to a point where it was just like the lyrics were just I didn't even really think about them. They just kind of came out. So
yeah. And so when do you think we can find out about the tour dates for Ashes of ARES, man?
Well, we're working on some things right now. We don't have anything solid at this point, man. As soon as we do, man, just keep our social media up, man. We'll announce all the stuff on there.
Okay, very cool. Well, let's finish off with a song from the new album to close the interview. Which one would you pick for us to finish it?
To finish the interview, well, let's go with see what. Well, we just did the video for the Alien, so that's cool.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah,
that's a good rock solid song there, and it kind of does have the cool thing with the whole video. So that's another.
Yeah.
Hey, get on and check out the video too.
Yeah, that's a good one. We'll finish off with that one, man. So thank you so much for your time, man, and all the best with the new release. Hopefully with some new tour dates being announced very soon.
All right, very cool, man. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
That's it, guys. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this interview with the iconic Matt Barlow of Ashes of ARES. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast in order to get notified of all our interviews, as well as our Talking Perspectives podcasts. I also invite you to like us on Facebook and Twitter, and check us out on www.sonicperspectives.com. We'll leave you with The Alien, a song from the new Ashes of ARES album, Well of Souls. Take care and rock on!